of the Casale del Giglio estate is Antonio Santarelli. But the Santarelli family was already in the wine business since 1914. In this picture, this is the great-grandfather of Antonio, who was called Berardino Santarelli, who, together with his brothers, they founded the company Berardino Santarelli e Figli in 1914. They did that in Amatrice. Do you know Amatrice? There was this big earthquake in 2016. Yeah. So the Santarelli family comes from this area, and in fact the first society was founded there. At that time they were merchandising wines. Okay. Then they decided in 1955 to open some shops that we call selling wine and olive oil. And in fact they had 14 different shops all over around Rome. Then the father of Antonio, the actual owner, was used to come in this area with friends to go hunting or to go fishing. Okay, and one day, and he was very attracted by this area, which I have to say that until the 30s, a little bit southern, it was all marshlands here. Okay, so it's an area that has been drained in the 30s by Mussolini, but there was already this property here where they had some local grapes, and they were making like more or less table wine, and they were also bottling some wines. Anyway, so this friend said to him, why this property is in sale, why don't you have a look at that? So he decided to buy this property in 1967. So at that time, yes, table wine, nothing really important. But in a way, he kind of foresaw that there was a great potential here, okay? So he decided in 1985 to launch a big project of research and experimentation. They decided to plant 57 different kind of grapes, just to see which were the grapes that adapted best to this area. Okay, so the idea wasn't to look at the name of the grape or to see, it was just to consider this area as a virgin one, to study it all over and to see which, can really be the potential, So you have to consider that within the estate we have 3 different kind of soil, sandy, argillaceous and also volcanic, as we are just, there are the Roman castles just down there. We are 10 minutes from the sea, so we have a constant breeze from the sea, which is very important too. And of course we have a lot of sun. So the microclimate, there is kind of a microclimate here, okay? So they planted those 57 grapes. They waited 3 years to get the first harvest, and they made those micro vinifications, and they tasted all of them. And from them, they have selected more or less 1/3 that they have decided to replant in the row system, and that they are parts today of the range Casale del Giglio. From those grapes, mainly were international grapes, mainly French grapes, for example, the Sauvignon, Viognier, or Petit Manseng for the whites, and for the reds, Shiraz, Petit Verdot, but also the Spanish Tempranillo that they was at the tasting. And then in the last 10 years, next to those international grapes, we also wanted to rediscover or reevaluate some local grapes that maybe weren't considered enough, both locally but also abroad, obviously, no? So the first step was on the island of Ponza. Do you know the island of Ponza? Yeah. So on that island, you can find only one grape mainly, which is Biancolella, that originally comes from the island of Ischia in front of Naples, and then it has been brought by the Bourbons. But anyway, so this is this very small island, and we decided to initially rent some lands, and then we also bought some lands there It's a very small production, and there are also some terraces because it's very like yes, exactly. But it's very impressive, very beautiful sea. Obviously, it's a very small production, so it's not very. But that has been a very project, very stimulating for the winemaker. So we decided to enlarge this project, and we went in the area of Anthium, just by Nettuno where you'll be today, but in the area of Anthium where there is the Bellone. So there again, we have founded this local grape that grows really on the seaside, on a very sandy soil. In fact, those are engrafted vines because the sand has prevented the Phylloxera to expand in that area. So they are almost 60 years old, and it has been really very interesting. In fact, the winemaker has decided now we have 3 different wines made from Bellone, 100%. Because initially it was just like to discover and say, wow, these grapes have really great potential. So we have 3 different ones, a basic, a cru, let's say, and then we have also a Riserva of Bellone made that ages 2 years in oak and then 6 to 8 months in terracotta amforas.
Ja, jag står här nu i vineriet och nu ska vi prova de här vinerna. Vi har ett antal utplockade viner från kollektionen. Och jag börjar med Satrico, som är en blend. Den är supermineralig, det är jättemycket sälta och stenighet och salmiak. Underbar, så här riktigt mineraldominerande. Sen Bellone, som är en lokal druva. Anthium heter den. Och det är super elegant, det är lite gulfruktigt, men även här känner man verkligen mineraliteten som går igenom. Salthav. Verkligen i eftersmaken också kommer den här sältan. Och så den här härliga, raka syran som håller i alltihop. Underbart. All right. Biancolella från Ponza. Och den heter Faro della Guardia. Denna lilla ö, där bor ungefär 3000 människor. Och mycket branta lägen. Även här mineralitet och salthav. Det är verkligen, man känner verkligen att det har en influens från havet i mikroklimatet. Supergott. Frisk och fräsch, krispig syra och såna här härliga mineraliteter. Mycket elegant, mycket välbalanserat. Då har vi Albìola, Syrah och Sangiovese, rosévin. Inte en sån typ som är väldigt populär i Sverige, de här ljusa, bleka rosévin, utan det här är går mer åt det röda hållet. Och mer strukturerat också. Inte den här godistonen utan mycket mer av rödbärighet, frukt. Verkligen matvin. En matrosé, mycket struktur. Jättegott.
Det är som en claret.